Hi, I'm Sarah Quart, Early Intervention Special Education Resource Teacher, and I've taken a critical look at the collaborative inquiry process at my school in the hopes that it will help you to either understand the process or further solidify the knowledge you already have. As a new staff member coming to our school, I think it's important to understand the history of using collaborative process as an adult learning model and where we hope to take it in the future. We've seen great success over the years and keep the process alive.
In recent years, a lot of our critical learning pathways and learning cycles have focused on numeracy and math from the board level. When we have done those, we've kind of come together as a group. We've brought math samples of our students' work. We've looked at kind of where there's holes in their learning and planned together next steps. And then in a couple of weeks, we'd come back together and look at how the students did, kind of assess them together, and then again plan next steps moving forward from there. We really haven't focused a lot in the literacy or reading part of the curriculum, and I find that that's something that I choose to work with a learning support teacher on to help me kind of plan and reflect on my practice in that area, because I don't get enough support right now from the board level on that. When working on the learning cycle and the math focus, I found it was really nice to come together with both leaders in the field and our board and kind of be reassured by them and get some direct sort of instruction from them on where we want to focus and how we want to move children forward in their skills. I also found it was really helpful to be able to collaborate with my colleagues and plan some assessments that we were going to do together. So we kind of knew we were all working on the same thing. All of our students were going to be demonstrating similar knowledge, so then we could then take a broader spectrum and compare across there where our students are and how we can help them progress.
As you can see, there is currently a lot of focus on math in our board right now, but the process would be the same for an inquiry and literacy as well. I think it's important to note that staff enjoy the process and find it useful to their practice. It is also key that we involve experts at the board level to assist. Now that we know the process is important and useful for teachers, what exactly is the collaborative inquiry model? The Ministry of Education's Capacity Building Series article number 39 discusses the collaborative inquiry process in more detail. Collaborative inquiry holds potential for deep and significant change in education. Bringing educators together in inquiry sustains attention to goals over time, fosters teachers' learning and practice development, and results in gains for students. Collaborative inquiry is at the heart of our professional development as teachers. It is a professional way of being. The collaborative inquiry is a journey. There's no one way to do collaborative inquiry, but there are essential components that must be met. First, we must create a culture of inquiry and collaboration. Staff must feel safe to share, and the team needs to work to build an inclusive environment with trusting relationships. This democratic approach and shared leadership style is essential for the process to be successful. Next, each educator increases their own pedagogical content knowledge while also contributing to the group. Therefore, there is a lot of reciprocal knowledge sharing. Third, the process looks at professional discourse. This involves educators working together to learn more and grow their practice. This dialogue is reflective and adaptive. Last, the student experience is considered. Increased student learning and engagement is the goal. As we know, once again, much attention in the last number of years has been on math collaborative inquiry. Following is a teacher at my school discussing a math inquiry project that we were a part of. Please note that the process would be the same for inquiry and reading, and these key points will be highlighted.
I led a math inquiry group among a grade 2 team, and we were hoping to see, and we were wondering what impact multiple learning opportunities would have on student learning when students had the chance to show what they knew and what they could do in terms of mathematical conceptual understanding. So it was really important that we set direction, and so as a facilitator and co-learner in our inquiry, I sort of encouraged my team to develop their individual goals for professional growth in math. And at our first meeting, we looked at a relationship between our individual goals as well as our school's goals and how they were aligned. As well as setting direction within the context of setting direction, I encourage my team to be innovative in helping our students meet high expectations throughout our inquiry. And we understood what our school system operational goals were, one of which being that we wanted to increase the percentage of students achieving at a provincial standard by 8% yearly on the primary, junior, and intermediate EQAO assessments. And we gave ourselves 3 years for that. So as a team, we developed and shared our individual areas of need as educators, and it's really important to take the time to figure out what it is that you as an individual educator are hoping to get out of the inquiry. So we used information from lead math sessions and the math texts from Joe Bowler and Marion Small, and we had discussions about the merits of current math practice. The people in the group also attended mini sessions with me, and I sort of presented learning that occurred at the lead math sessions, and then we reflected on what we were trying to achieve with our students, how we were doing it, and we challenged ourselves to meet once a week to sort of examine our practices and how they were supporting the learning of our students. We committed in our classrooms to 15 minutes a day of math fluency to support our own interests, as well as the goals of our system, so our SIPSA, to further our school goals. So we did that every day, 15 minutes of fluency as a whole class. It was important to foster mutual respect within our learning community and trust as well, involved with those involved with the collaboration. And it's only through the trust and openness of our group that we were able to enjoy the practice of inquiry. Lots of the teachers in the inquiry were willing to take on leadership roles using their strengths as educators. We encouraged flexibility, compromise, when teachers were unsure about taking on a small group comprised of another teacher's students. We agreed to just trial the group for 10 sessions, and then we reviewed after those sessions. We ended up in the end, for our 15 minutes of math fluency, we ended up creating a bank of math games, since games were obviously the most direct way to affect change with our kids. And so we ended up sharing this database with the entire school of fluency games. So knowing that our grade 2 team was highly interested in best practice, we recruited and invited all the teachers who have an interest and the capacity to further their math teaching. We'd committed as a team to spiral our math program, so to teach it recursively, and had lots of discussions sort of regarding the logistics of delivering a program, and came up with sort of a loose year-long plan in terms of how we would teach and spiral the different aspects of math curriculum. We talked a lot about the triangulation of data, so important to have 3 sources before you sort of sit down to tease apart the data that you ended up procuring. So in the end, in terms of accountability, we were able to correlate practicing 15 minutes of math fluency to how this practice would support our school goals. We assessed our own contribution on our achievements. We took into account feedback from one another on our performance. And so it's still ongoing. The following year, we continued with it just to see, and then we committed for a 3rd year as well.
I think Jamie did a really good job at pulling out the key points in any inquiry process, whether it be math or reading. First, the importance of setting direction, then building relationships and developing the knowledge of all those involved, and the process of developing the organization to support desired practices is really key. Next, improving the instructional program of the team was key. And then finally, securing accountability and really being reflective on the process and practice moving forward. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you understand the collaborative inquiry process a little bit better by watching this video.